It's time now for our regular look at finance with our late news money man, Scott Phillips, Chief Investment Officer from the Motley Fool. Scott, good evening. We had some big businesses releasing their half-year earnings this week. What did we learn about the health, if you like, of corporate Australia?
Peter, good evening. Yeah, we absolutely did. In fact, some really big businesses, a bank, a supermarket. We saw plenty of companies out with really important data. The best thing I probably think we can say about this is it was better than it could have been. The numbers are pretty pedestrian, quite honestly. Most of the large companies in Australia are getting very modest sales growth and profit growth. But in the current economic circumstances, that's actually a pretty good result. So we're kind of getting through. And the great news there is businesses that are still growing sales and profits are still likely to keep employing Australians. That is, of course, the most important number as we go through 2024.
Scott, with this new RBA calendar, there's no meeting on the first Tuesday of the month, so we've got to get used to, I think, happening every 6 weeks. How important, though, will the CPI data be this week?
It's going to be really important, Peter, because we've seen the CPI, the inflation rate, slowly but steadily decline here in Australia. The watch out is in the US. They actually had a modest bump up in inflation, a reminder that it's not going to necessarily be a smooth and steady fall. In fact, that is their forecast. The consensus estimate is actually for an increase from 3.4% in December to 3.5% in January. Not panic station, not anything to worry about necessarily, but a reminder that the path won't necessarily be smooth from here.
All right, retail sales, they come out, that information on Thursday?
These are probably even more important, actually, mate. Normally it's CPI, but the last couple of months of retail sales have been fascinating. We had a massive jump in November, largely because of the Black Friday sales. We kind of expected that. We also expected it would drag sales forward from December, and that ended up being true. December sales were down 2.7%, which is a remarkable reduction. Now, again, you've got to look at the 2 months together, November and December. Even if you do, that's still a decline. Now, the health of the economy, the health of consumer spending is probably the canary in the coal mine. We are expecting a bounce back. We're expecting growth of about 1.5% when those numbers are released later this week. But any variance from that probably, as well as CPI, are the two numbers the RBA will be looking most closely at.
And very quickly, Scott, before we go, what should we expect tomorrow when our market opens?
This is quick and easy, Pete. Hopefully a gain of about 0.4% if the ASX futures are correct. Hopefully a positive start to the trading week on Monday.
Scott Phillips from the Motley Fool. As always, thanks for joining us on the Late News.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you, Peter.